This is 9 News, first at 5.
Good evening. After spending a harrowing night at sea, 2 fishermen whose boat sank off the New South Wales mid-north coast are this evening recovering in hospital. 9's Matthew Snelson joins us now from Ballin. And Matt, an extraordinary rescue. How did it play out?
Well, the 2 men will be okay. They suffered hypothermia, but no other injuries. Incredibly, all the rescuers say that had it not been for the fact that they were wearing life jackets and that they had that esky to stay together through that horrifying ordeal, that this story surely would have had a very different ending, Natalia.
Okay, thank you, Matt. To Queensland now, where emergency crews have recovered a man's body after he fell overboard from a cruise ship earlier this morning. Live to Sophie Walsh in our Brisbane newsroom. Sophie, what do we know about this incident? Okay, thanks, Sophie. An abseiling adventure has ended in tragedy in the New South Wales Blue Mountains, with a man plunging to his death earlier today. Live to Dimity Clancy at Katoomba. Dimity, do we know what led to this horrific accident?
So Natalia, after a long 6 hours, paramedics were able to walk the woman to safety. She was clearly very distressed by what happened. It's been a very complex rescue operation to retrieve her boyfriend's body. Natalia, just a very sad end to what was supposed to be a great day out together.
Indeed, thank you, Dimity. A mother and her son have been rescued from their burning home in Adelaide this morning. The flames from a suspected arson attack spread from 2 cars in the driveway to the Windsor Garden property. It's understood the fire broke out in bushes in the front yard. In the news ahead, a fierce storm leaves a trail of destruction across Adelaide. Also, Apollo Theatre terror. What caused part of the historic building's roof to come crashing down onto a packed audience? And the hunt for the perfect Christmas gift. Shopping centres around the country packed to the brim. Residents in Adelaide are tonight counting the cost after being hit by another severe storm. Around 3,000 homes and businesses are currently without power. Wild winds over the past 24 hours brought down trees and power lines across several suburbs. Repair crews have so far restored power to around 57,000 people. Many shops have been forced to close for the day. Sounds interesting. OK, sport is next with Tom Steinfort.
Thank you, Natalia. Good evening. Coming up next, Australian opener Chris Rogers scared of the Boxing Day test. Hear his frank assessment of his test career next. Plus, the round-the-world sailors set to take on the Sydney to Hobart. And the Jets upset the ladder leaders in an A-League boil-over. Australian opener Chris Rogers admits he's scared about the Boxing Day test, saying he feels he's playing for his career. Rogers has turned to Australian great Justin Langer for advice on how to get through his lean run this Ashes series. The Australian squad gets back together in Melbourne tomorrow. The Sydney to Hobart is a marathon in itself, but for a group of this year's competitors, it's more like a sprint. Crews from the Clipper Round the World race are taking part in the Boxing Day Classic as part of their trip around the globe. The 23-metre yachts started out in France but are ready to take on Bass Strait. Among the Round the World entrants is the first Chinese woman to compete in the Sydney to Hobart. Boxing Day, it's Christmas for sports lovers. We've got the Sydney to Hobart and hopefully the Aussies on a roll in the test as well.
Sure is. Thanks, Tom. I'll have all the weather details next, but right now, here's a look at what's happening.
The Aussie shark attack survivor and the moment he went back into the water. Plus, Hugh Jackman's perfect life. 60 Minutes, Sunday.
To the weather details now, and around the country tomorrow, partly cloudy for Brisbane, reaching 30 degrees, and Darwin storms and 33 degrees. Let's have a look at Monday now, and it's going to be mostly fine in Brisbane, 35 degrees. It's going to be sunny in Perth and a hot 33, and more of those summer storms expected in Darwin. And that's 9 News, first at 5 for this Saturday. Our next bulletin is coming up at 6 o'clock. I'm Natalia Cooper. Goodbye for now.